Guys, I was so wrong. MAGA's not dead. We're more back than we've ever been. Just ignore the fact that the president is threatening to primary the only two Republicans in Congress who refuse to take foreign lobbying money and in fact speak out against it, Thomas Massie and Marjorie Taylor Greene. Ignore the fact that the White House is claiming there have been 2 million deportations and that number factors in things like self-deportations, which is cheating, that doesn't count, and that there are tens of millions of illegals still in America that shouldn't be here. And don't forget the 600,000 Chinese students that are going to be coming to America because Americans are too stupid to do jobs. And the 100,000 plus H-1B visas that have been approved for this year alone, on top of the hundreds of thousands that are already here. If you don't know what I'm referencing, Trump just rescinded his endorsement of Marjorie Taylor Greene, a congresswoman who's up for re-election next year, because she's America first. The same Marjorie Taylor Greene who is fighting to get the Epstein files released with Congressman Thomas Massie from Kentucky and Democratic Congressman Ro Khanna from California. These are the three people, because it is a bipartisan issue, who've been trying to get it released more than anybody, so credit where credit's due to all of them. But no, this is actually crazy. If you support America first over any other country because you live here and you're a representative of here, then you're not truly a patriot, and you're not for making America great again. Make that one make sense.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So imagine asking for accountability and the president turns around and calls you a traitor. Right? That is exactly what's happening between Donald Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene. Yes, the same lady that used to write for him harder than his own campaign staff, might I add. Right? Apparently, she told Trump, hey, maybe release the Epstein list so that victims can finally get justice. And instead of acting like a grown man, Trump said she's not even Marjorie Taylor Greene anymore. Because in his words, when grass goes bad, it turns brown. So now she's Marjorie Taylor Brown. Right? And so this whole thing is embarrassing on multiple levels, right? First of all, Trump calling someone a traitor publicly, that is not light, right? That is not playful. That is not banter. That is a president of the United States casually using a word that historically has gotten people imprisoned, right? Targeted or worse, and all because she told him to release the Epstein list. Like, let's be for real. If you're innocent, why is your whole spirit shaking every time that list gets mentioned, right? Why does accountability suddenly feel like a personal attack? Not Trump trying to drag her by the color of grass, talking about when grass rots, it turns brown. Sir, are you okay? You're 79 years old, right? You're running a whole country. Why are you arguing like a TikTok troll in the comment section? Why are you doing that? Let's watch the clips though. Thank you so much for tapping in when you saw this. Credit goes to all original creators. Let's watch and we'll be back with some commentary.
It seems like the divide in the Republican Party is getting worse because Donald Trump just publicly called out Marjorie Taylor Greene while speaking in the Oval Office. Just take a look.
In a meeting with the Syrian president earlier today, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is a big ally of yours, said that she would rather see you focused on nonstop domestic policy meetings here at the White House instead of nonstop foreign policy meetings. What's your response to her saying that, and also saying that grocery prices are up and not down, as you said?
Yeah, so I don't know what happened to Marjorie. She's a nice woman, but I don't know what happened. She's lost her way, I think. But wow. I have to view the presidency as a worldwide situation, not locally. I mean, we could have a...
Well, I guess he's done with the whole America First grift because now he's correctly saying that the president can't just focus on the United States. It's an international job, and you have to work with allies as well. And then in addition to those comments about MTG, he said when somebody like Marjorie Taylor Greene is catering to the other side, I guess she's got some kind of an act going. So former best friends, now maybe enemies. Donald Trump is saying that she has no idea what's going on. She's putting on an act and she's lost her way. And Marjorie Taylor Greene is actually correctly saying that grocery prices are going up, healthcare is unaffordable, and things like that. I'm sure MTG will be begging for forgiveness in a couple of days, but for now, I'm going to sit back, relax, and watch it all unfold.
Actually, you are the disgrace to the Republican Party, not Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I never thought I'd say that, but I do say it as the daughter of a former Republican. I was raised by a Republican dad, and you are not a Republican. And listen, now I'm not trying to say that Marjorie Taylor Greene should be forgiven for all her sins, no, but calling her Marjorie Trader Greene, while it has a better ring to it than what you were calling her last night, Marjorie Taylor Brown, because when grass rots, it turns brown. Honey, I don't think you've ever taken care of a lawn in your life. But anyway, you're continuing going on this tantrum all because a woman wants accountability. While it might not be legal or civil, there is moral accountability to be had here with the release of those files. You see, Congress is going to vote next week on releasing the JE files, okay? And you are trying to scare as many people as possible into voting no. But honey, where's the courage of the old GOP? Do you think Reagan would be throwing a hissy fit on social media had it existed? I don't think so. I don't think Ronnie would do that at all. Do you think Nixon would go on a temper tantrum like that? Now, he had a temper, don't get me wrong, but do you think he'd put it out there publicly? No, sir, you are the disgrace.
Marjorie has recently had her daughter post to Truth Social saying that praying for her mama's safety because they currently feel like she is unsafe because threats have been placed on her life at this current time. All behind the Epstein files. My thing is, y'all, what exactly is in the Epstein files to make all of this stuff start to shift like this? Everybody want to point the finger and say, nobody wanted Donald Trump, nobody wanted the Epstein files released until Donald Trump got up in there. Y'all, don't miss the fact. Don't let the fact of the main thing go over your head. It's got survivors out here who fear to even come forth because of Donald Trump and Epstein being very powerful men. Not to mention a lot of the other people that we're not speaking on. The importance of the Epstein files coming out is not to just, put Trump out there. It's to get all of these people, all of these celebrities that are listed in the Epstein file and hold them accountable for what they did to all of these survivors, y'all. It's sad. These girls, and I'm saying girls because they were not women. They were not old enough to make the decision that they had to make behind being offered money and everything else. And then when they get there, they being cornered into a room and things happen to them they didn't want to happen to them. Y'all, this is a very sad situation, and it keeps on getting serious and serious.
Trump is making a very public example of Marjorie Taylor Greene in order to scare all the other Republicans who are considering voting to release the files out of doing it. That's the whole point of this. He wants them all to know it doesn't matter how loyal you've been, it doesn't matter how hard you've ridden for him, he will do this to you publicly and all over every platform if you don't support him on everything he asks you to. And I don't understand how they're not questioning why he doesn't want these files released. Why are they piling on her instead of being like, yo, if you're not in them, if you're not in there, if it's all, if it's all Democrats, can we see it? Why don't they want to see it then? They don't want to see, if they think it's all the Clintons and whoever the fuck else, they don't want to see it. Because I don't care if it's my neighbor, my kindergarten teacher, my best friend. I want to see it. I want to know who's on the list and I want to see them go to jail. I don't care what their affiliation is. I don't care what party they're in. I just want to see it. And the fact that he's doing this to her, I don't know who's next. Maybe it'll be Nancy Mace. He's going to keep attacking them. But this is a scare tactic and I bet it'll work. And I'm blown away by this. I don't understand it.
Imagine working your entire political career defending and fighting for Donald Trump, only for him to turn around and throw you under the bus when you ask for transparency. Marjorie Taylor Greene has demanded the full release of the Jeffrey Epstein files. Every name, every flight log, all of it. She said that there's no protecting the elites anymore. And people were like, is MTG doing something sane? But as soon as she got too close to Trump's orbit, he snapped. He basically turned around and said that she is the one that's a part of some scheme. He said that she was being used and he dismissed the entire thing. Instead, he turned the blame on Democrats and billionaires that he did not like. Now, this raises a very obvious question. If MTG is asking for transparency and that's the reaction, what does it say about that transparency? The wild part is that this is the same Marjorie Taylor Greene that has defended Trump through everything. Every scandal, every meltdown, every headline, she's been through it all with him. But this time she touched on a subject that makes all politicians uncomfortable. So now the Republicans are having like an internal civil war on whether they should believe MTG or whether they're going to be on Trump's side. And it's the same on the blue side as well. They're split. Some don't trust her, and some say that, hey, if she's speaking out, we gotta believe her. For MTG, this clearly means that she is disposable.
Trump didn't just withdraw an endorsement. He didn't just get annoyed. He went full nuclear on Marjorie Taylor Greene. Publicly, repeatedly, obsessively. And in a way, we haven't seen him do even to Democrats. Why? Because Marjorie broke the rule. She touched the thing they were all supposed to pretend didn't exist. Pretend that it's a hoax, okay? The Epstein files. Let's be honest. Trump doesn't waste energy unless something threatens him directly. He ignores people, belittles them, freezes them out. But he does not unleash a multi-post, multi-day meltdown unless someone got too close to something he needs to bury. In the last 27 hours, he called her a traitor, a lunatic, a Reno, said she turned left, said she became brown, accused her of lying about coals, called her irrelevant, incompetent, and desperate. Compared her to fake politicians, and basically told Republicans to primary her. This is not criticism. This is punishment. This is a warning to others. This is how someone behaves when they believe a person has crossed a line that cannot be uncrossed. Because right before this meltdown, Marjorie did the unthinkable. She publicly demanded the release of the old Epstein files, unredacted. And Trump suddenly decided that she was the greatest threat to the Republican Party. Maybe she is. Not the extremists, not the election deniers who failed him, not the Republicans attacking him in court. No, her. The timing writes its own history. This isn't about loyalty. It's about risk management. And he's telling her and everyone watching exactly what happens when someone gets close to the one story he cannot control. And here's the irony. For years, Green was one of his most aggressive foot soldiers. She defended him through everything. Now, he's painting her as the enemy of the entire party because she asked the wrong question about the wrong man at the wrong time. Make of that what you will, but one thing is clear. The louder a politician screams, the closer the truth is getting.
So tonight, Donald Trump pulled his endorsement for Marjorie Taylor Greene in a public truth social post. We are now just finding out as to why. It is because Marjorie Taylor Greene texted him, urging him to release the Epstein files, in which he responded saying the Epstein files are a hoax, and she responded back saying, hey, we need this release. The victims need justice. Dear Republicans who keep making excuse after excuse after excuse, one of your very own has asked Donald Trump to please release the files. And this is his response, is to pull his public endorsement for her. Does that scream innocent to you? Because to me, that screams fucking guilty. Even in her text message to him, he mentions how Hillary could be connected, Bill Clinton could be connected. There are many people who could be connected. And he doesn't care. He doesn't care who the fuck is connected. He doesn't want them released because it will also show that he is deeply connected. This is insane. This is insane. If you're a Republican and you're still defending this, you're insane.
Trump dramatically turning on Marjorie Taylor Greene, a woman who at one point was probably his greatest and most loyal supporter, is symbolic of something. So key to remember that during the Biden administration, when Trump was in political exile, essentially, Marjorie Taylor Greene was his voice. She was his champion in government. Don't like J.K. Rowling, but the metaphor is perfect. Marjorie Taylor Greene has been Trump's Bellatrix Lestrange this entire time. She has always been one of Trump's, chief lieutenants within the Republican Party. Regular at Mar-a-Lago and a proponent of all of these ideas that Trump is secretly saving the world. Now she is dramatically out of Trump's good graces because she dared to ask questions about the Epstein files. Essentially deciding in that moment that she's suddenly a complete failure, accusing her of going far left and calling for her to be immediately primaried. Marjorie Taylor Greene, who was at one time his biggest and almost his only defender in Congress. In the aftermath of the January 6th insurrection, no one wanted to be associated with Donald Trump. She did. She stuck by him. It feels very much like we're in the final act of a DreamWorks movie where the bad guy is losing so much and he's so afraid that he is desperately sacrificing his own loyal subordinates in order to just buy himself some time to try and survive. You've seen Kung Fu Panda. It's this bit with the Wolf Boss and Lord Shen where the Wolf Boss refuses to light the cannon and gets immediately slimed for it. It's one of the faces of the MAGA movement. When I talk about fanatically loyal Trump cultists, this is an image that will pop into your head, more or less. Even that level of loyalty at this point in the end game is not rewarded. It is not reciprocated. He has turned on her as well. She's now allegedly receiving threats from the same Trump supporters that she would have weaponized to threaten other people. Talking about that more in another video. What you need to know is that when the pressure's up, this is what loyalty to Donald Trump gets you. I don't think anyone had a more secure position in Trump's inner circle than Marjorie Taylor Greene did. Trump's panic over the Epstein files is leading him to burn everything in an attempt to buy himself some more time. Can't say I feel any sympathy for anyone in this situation, but it marks a turning point for sure. My guy is spiraling.
The MAGA civil war has gone nuclear. Marjorie Taylor Greene is receiving death threats, and Donald Trump is saying that she is a traitor to her country, which is, mind you, no small accusation coming from the president. She revealed this in a new tweet where she also goes on the attack back against Donald Trump, where she says, "I am now being contacted by private security firms with warnings for my safety as a hotbed of threats against me are being fueled and egged on by the most powerful man in the world. The man I supported and helped get elected. Aggressive rhetoric attacking me has historically led to death threats and multiple convictions of men who were radicalized by the same type of rhetoric being directed at me right now." She continues on, "I have some small understanding of the fear and pressure of the women who are victims of JE," and finishing with, "Our country is worth saving, and it can only be done if we pull ourselves together and save ourselves." Sparked this most recent tweet from Marjorie was a Truth Social from Donald that says, "Marjorie Taylor Greene is a disgrace to our great Republican Party." And all of this is happening because she refuses to change her mind on the release of the Epstein files and thinks that it's pertinent to American society that all of the people involved with Jeffrey need to be prosecuted. And if Trump's against that, MAGA, you have to ask why.
Okay, you know what's funny is Marjorie Taylor Greene almost looks like the female version of Donald Trump. Like, it's both just over tanned face, big fat face, lumpy face, too much of a tan, and then just blonde hair. It's just, they both look like they're from Miami. Neither one of them are from Miami.
So now Marjorie is out here saying that she's receiving death threats because of Trump's words, which honestly I believe, right? MAGA supporters take everything he says like it's scripture, right? But this isn't funny anymore. This is literally dangerous political behavior. And the irony, she defended this man for years, only for him to turn around and treat her like expired produce the moment she asked for accountability, right? America is writing its own reality show at this point. There's no writer's strike. The writers are just unhinged, right? So what do you guys think? Is Trump scared of that list? Does MTG actually care about justice for once? Or do you think that this is just two chaotic people finally turning on each other? Please drop your thoughts in the comments, like and share. Don't forget to subscribe. This video is just for commentary and discussion only. All claims mentioned are alleged and based on public statements, reports, and online reactions. Thank you so much for tapping in again when you saw this, and as usual, I'll see you on my next one.